everybody. Welcome to Rachel's Reviews. I'm so excited today. We are here to talk to the co-writers and directors of the new independent film, The Peanut Butter Falcon. I had a chance to see this film last week and I really enjoyed it. I have my review. I'll put in the description section. You guys can check it out. And we have Tyler Nilson and Michael Schwartz here. And thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm Tyler, by the way, for listeners wondering who that is.
And I'm Michael.
And we're excited to be on Rachel's Reviews.
Yeah, thank you so much. And why don't you guys tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to make this movie?
Well, I feel like I'm on the spot, like we're dating. Hi, my name is Tyler. I like to take walks on the beach. No, I'm Tyler. I'm from the Outer Banks of North Carolina. Filmmaker. I definitely didn't think I'd ever make narratives like this sort of film. I thought I'd make surf films and adventure films, and if I was lucky enough to do that. And I think what drew me to the project was Zack is one of my best friends, and I love him very much. And we wanted to write a story for him to sort of to be on a dance floor as an actor. You know, we had seen him performing in a short film and really wanted to sort of give him a shot to take his chops to the world.
And for anybody that hasn't seen the trailer, doesn't know anything about the film, Zack is an actor with Down syndrome. And he'd been studying acting since he was 3 years old. He works in a movie theater. He went to a mainstream performing arts high school, and he had a conversation with us one day. This is now 5 years ago, and he said, you know, I want to take the next step. I want to act in feature films. And we had just a serious conversation with him, and we said, you know, there's not a lot of opportunities for actors with disabilities to star in feature films. And he kind of took the opportunity to just say, let's do it together. You guys write and direct, and I'll act in it.
And we said, let's frickin' do it. And we high-fived, and we all drove to the library and checked out like 20 books on how to make movies. And we started writing a feature film for Zack.
For real? So you guys, you guys hadn't been to film school or anything like that?
I'm going to steal your line, Mike. Mike likes to say he just got people coffee, and that's what we were doing. I was getting coffee. Mike was getting people coffee.
Yeah, went the old school like apprenticeship route, got jobs, and watched people that knew more than us.
Yes.
Way to go. That's incredible.
Thank you, Rachel.
Very impressive. Very impressive. So were you just friends? Before?
Yeah, we were neighbors. We lived in the same building in Santa Monica. This is now almost 14 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
And I know. And it just recognized a wildness in Tyler. And I was like, that's a guy that I could spend more time with.
I'd been living on a boat in Samoa, traveling in the jungle. I got really bad staph infections and couldn't live there anymore, so I had to go with dream number 2. So I got an old pickup truck and drove to LA and lived in it for a year, and then finally had enough money to move into a small apartment. And I ran into Michael Schwartz, who had just ridden his bike across the country. He rode his bike to Maine, and then decided to jaunt up to Canada for the winter and dance on a street corner in the middle of the Canadian winter and record it and make a short film. And I just was like, you sound crazy, and just the kind of crazy I like. Let's hang out. Let's be best friends. And then we high-fived, and we were best friends.
Oh my gosh. I think you guys need to make a movie about yourself, because that sounds really great. That's amazing. I love that.
We're working on some other stories right now.
So
that one's on the back burner.
Yeah. So the story of Zack in the movie, that's not based on anything in any person in particular or any book or anything like that. It was your own original idea?
Yeah, own original, obviously inspired by certain things, films, like we really liked Mud, and Mark Twain is a writer that we always gravitated towards, and things like Stand By Me. But yeah, it was when we were writing, in the writing process, it was just a braided rope of what can we do with Zack that's believable and really, but also stretching as as an actor for him, and what can we afford, which is nothing except for the exteriors of the hometown that I come from, which is North Carolina. So you kind of combine that with the blue collar sort of place that I came from, combined with Zack and who he is, and yet we wound up with the Peanut Butter Falcon.
That's really cool. That's very impressive to do. So how did
Well, I
you
mean, you
end?
gave us an 8.5, and I'm really hoping that we can skirt it up to
Bump it up.
8.6.
Okay.
Who knows? 8.51. I don't know what's going to happen right now, Rachel, but I know that the sky is the limit.
I,
For 10.
it does
Maybe it
impress
goes to
me.
11. I don't know. I don't know how numbers work.
There you go. So how did you end up casting Shia in the role, Shia LaBeouf?
Oh my gosh, Shia LaBeouf has been one of my favorite actors forever, and it was a little bit of a circuitous route. We wrote the script, and no one would read it because we don't have agents or managers or know anybody famous. We were just a couple guys with a script, and so we went and shot basically a trailer for the film with Zack to show that he could do the acting job and to show what the world felt like in the tone. And then we started sending it to people. Send it to actors like on their Instagram accounts and their Twitter accounts, and somebody reached out and said, I'll help you. And then once we had one person, it was sort of like dominoes. People started reading the script, and then we got to Shia, and he was, always our top choice.
How did you meet him originally? How did it even? So he was in from the ground one practically. But
I mean, there's so many people that are involved in making the movie. So we had these producers, Lige and Dave, that we'd been working with, putting together sort of the feel of the movie. And then when we made the proof of concept, we got it to these other producers, Albert and Ron, who had made a movie with Shia before called Charlie Countryman. They also made Nebraska with Bruce Dern. That's how we were able to get Bruce Dern involved. And they made another movie called Lowdown with John Hawkes, and that's how we were able to get John Hawkes involved. So it was just a lot of preparation so that we were ready when we got really lucky, because we were just really lucky as well.
That's really great. I was really impressed with the cinematography. It looked so beautiful. Made you want to be on that raft. And so I was just wondering about Nigel Black. How did you guys end up getting him on board?
Yeah, Nigel's great. I think, Tyler and I had gone out and shot this trailer with our producer, Dave, who's also a great camera operator and DP as well. And we had the look and the feel of the movie really well established. And Nigel had shot this movie called The Tree that we really liked. It was naturalistic and sort of felt timeless. And, we just saw his work, and it happened really fast. So Shia told us he was going to do the movie, and that he was going to disappear into a cabin in Finland for 6 weeks, and he was going to be totally cut off, like no email, no phone, no nothing. And when he came out, he would just come to set, and we'd make this movie. And we're like, oh, okay, that's exciting, but also, now we have a deadline. Now we have a window that we're actually going to be shooting this, so we've got to go find the rest of the crew. We've got to go figure out how the money stuff works. And luckily our producers helped us figure that out. And I remember staying up late at night. Tyler and I had gone with our producer Lige to Savannah, Georgia, where we ended up shooting the movie, just looking at reel after reel of director of photography's work. And when we got to Nigel's, we said that's how we want it to look. That's how we want it to feel. And he luckily responded well to the trailer that we'd shot, the sort of the preview test footage. And he said, yeah, I'll be there in a week.
Wow. You guys are impressive. That is really cool.
I'm 8.7 impressive? Rachel, are we talking 8.7 impressive?
Maybe. And so one other question I had is, so was it hard to decide how aggressive to make the wrestling? Because one thing I appreciated about the movie is I appreciated that I didn't feel like, sometimes stories about people with special needs, it's sort of treated like they have superpowers, and I think that can be really patronizing. Like something like I hate I Am Sam, like that movie, I hate it. And
what do you give it out of 10? 8.2?
I wasn't a critic back then, but I would give it like a 2 out of 10. I hate it. And so I don't know. I appreciated that, but it must have been hard to decide how, in the wrestling scenes and some other stuff, how far are we going to go with this character in getting beat up?
It would have been hard for you. It wasn't hard for us. We treat Zack like he's just what he is, a normal human being. So Zack likes to wrestle. He loves wrestling and loves to wrestle and loves to act. So we really let him, we said, you guys get out there and kick each other's asses.
Yeah.
And they went for it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think Zack, he also stood up for himself on set. We had a stunt coordinator that wanted a stunt actor to do, I don't know if you remember the scene, or if people, when they hear this, probably won't have seen the movie, but there's some stunts where like Zack jumps off a 40-foot platform into water, and the stunt coordinator didn't want Zack to do it. And Zack was like, guys, like, let me do it. You're letting Shia do it. Why don't you let me do it? And we all sort of huddled up and said, this is what we're here for. It's like, we're here to treat Zack like any other actor. And he's a great swimmer, and he can do this. So he really stood up for himself on that kind of stuff too. He wanted the challenge.
I love that. That's awesome. Very cool. Well, last question I have is, what do you hope the message of the film is? What do you hope people, when they see it, they get out of it?
I mean, I really hope, I love to go to the movies and feel good and feel a range of emotions. So I hope that people are moved emotionally. And it's also like whatever people need. Like, people need different things at different times. And I don't know, I hope they get whatever they need. It's nothing really specific.
So Tyler, what about you? What do you think?
What do I want people to take from it?
Yeah, what do you want people to take from the movie?
Gosh, it feels so egotistical. Like, what do I want? I think it'd be really cool if people at the theater feeling good. I think in this world we're living in, it's we kind of are tearing into each other sometimes, and it doesn't feel really good. And I turn on the news, and it doesn't always feel really good. And I think it could just be nice to feel good and see people who are a little bit different than us in a different light, and that could be really, really rad.
Yeah, I think you succeeded. I felt good after I left, and I thought it was just it was a really sweet, really heartwarming movie, and with good performances and beautiful cinematography. So, way to go!
Thank you so
much, Rachel. I really appreciate it.
So, if people want to find the movie, how can they find out if it's playing near them?
We're looking right now, but if they're in Salt Lake City, it opens up on Thursday or Friday, Mike?
I'm not sure. It's August 9th is sort of a limited release. So independent movies and small movies like ours, sometimes they put them out in just a handful of cities and then let the word of mouth build from there. So I know August 9th, it's Salt Lake, Denver, LA, New York, Dallas, Austin, and a couple others. And then on the 23rd, it's nationwide. But sooner the better. If people are around the theaters, like, you can go to the peanutbutterfalconmovie.com, and there's a schedule on there of which cities are opening when. And then I think even starting, probably by the time this podcast is up, Fandango, you can just enter your zip code and it'll tell you where a theater is near you.
Yeah.
Or other, ticket selling websites like that, Rotten Tomatoes and all the others. Yeah,
and I was going to say too, even though it is rated PG-13, but I feel like it's something every family's different, but I think it's actually a family film, something I would feel comfortable taking, certainly middle school aged kids and up to see for sure. Don't be scared off by that.
It is a family film. I mean, the thesis of the film is friends of the family you choose. It's about creating family when you don't have one in a lot of ways. I have a daughter, a 3.5-year-old, and it's her favorite film.
Oh,
so
that's so
I'm pretty comfortable showing it to her. And we actually bumped into Shia at the grocery store the other day, and she kind of looked at me and looked at him, and it was like, Daddy? It was so weird for her because he plays Tyler and wears my favorite hat that she wears all the time, and it was we took a picture of them together. It was really sweet.
That's really cool. Well, great. Well, congratulations on the film. And are you on social media if people want to follow you?
Yeah, we have a Peanut Butter Falcon Instagram account and a Facebook, and we put a lot of fun stuff up there, behind the scenes stuff, pictures. We had a lot of fun on set. It was like summer camp.
Yeah.
We all got along really well, and it's exciting to have the movie coming out now because it's almost like summer camp part 2.
Okay, great. Good. We'll have all that in the description section. Definitely check it out. And Thank you so much for coming.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.
Okay, bye. If you'd like more interviews like this, please consider becoming a patron of my channel. I love talking to people behind the different movies, and this is definitely one I recommend you checking out. Please subscribe to my channel, or if you're listening on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews. Really appreciate that as well. And thanks so much again for Tyler and Michael for coming on the podcast. I really appreciate it. And I look forward to hearing what you think of the movie. So let me know if you get to see it, what your response is, and what you think about what Tyler and Michael had to say. I would love to hear your thoughts. So thanks again, and we'll talk to y'all later. Bye!